Okay, Memorial Day.
Another deal on the table. We've got lot 1213 in Mountain Gate Mobile Home Park. This is a property we had listed with a for sale by owner through our brokerage, Win Mobile Homes, license 8670. Let's take a walk through the property as we have a potential for a double flip equation, a double close, where this individual is looking to buy this property that is listed with Win Mobile Homes. What we will do is orchestrate a cash purchase, so negotiate a cash price to the seller, negotiate a price to the buyer, and ultimately seller finance the transaction, a double close to seller finance, and raise the capital for this transaction. Let's see if we can't do a deal today, walk through and make sure we're mitigating our risk for the seller finance loan. Got some decent siding. This home's a year 2000. Nice wide carport. Windows to look okay. It's definitely the original windows, but... So it looks pretty turnkey on the inside. The outside's not looking the best, but looks like you got a nice secondary fridge. Place is very clean. No visible watermarks in the ceilings. You got some drop down lighting here. So updated electrical, it looks like. Paint looks good. Some problems with these rolled laminate flooring. What do you think, Romeo? So this property we had listed at $78,000, and we have a potential cash price purchase at $50,000 or $52,000, I think it was. Got some older plumbing in here, but refinished counters. Someone did some decent work in here. Tub shower combo. We'll have to double check the year on this home because the exterior looks much older than a year 2000, so that'll be upon my due diligence to make sure that the home is worth its appraised value. Knowing the homes for sale in the area is highly requested here in the North Phoenix South Mountain market. We've done probably $2 million of transactions in this area, and we get requested all the time. This being a family park definitely adds to the value of the property. A decent sized master. So we'll check the year on this home, and the only thing really in question is the year and the AC unit at this point. There's no visible watermarks in the ceilings. Looks like all the appliances will convey. We'll have to make sure that it is agreed upon that these items either are staying or going. That's always the last final follow-ups. Here's the master. So just from a gunshot answer, this looks like a deal where we'll make about $25,000, and an investor will ultimately participate in the seller finance loan. A seller finance loan on this manufactured home at $78,000 with $5,000 down, a $73,000 balance at a 14% rate for 20 years. That monthly payment's $907.77. Their total monthly payment's likely about $1,850 for a 3-bed 2-bath here in the South Mountain market, which matches or beats market rent. The seller finance note will come available at $73,000 estimated. It's not sold till it's sold. There's always a negotiation to be had, but say $73,000 for a 20-year term, paying $907.77 a month. For $73,000, you cash flow over $10,000 a year in a home just like this, with no maintenance, management, insurance, or taxes. That's what we're doing today. So I got our agent Serena looking up the year. This is a way older unit, but a 3.2 like this, if it were really painted on the exterior, could be $99,000. Could be. So we got like $20,000 in a buffer of equity. looks pretty decent, all things considered. So pending due diligence, that looks like a deal. At the end of the day, we could make $25,000 and also get the golden nugget of a seller finance note out of that equation. That's 3 transactions in one, where we negotiate a purchase, negotiate a sale, and find an investor to take that position. That's what we call one step closer to financial freedom and mobile mailbox money.
Most people look at this and see housing. I look at this and see a printing press. Let me explain what I mean. Arbitrage is the art of finding the gap, the space between what something costs to produce and what it generates once it is in motion. Wall Street built entire institutions around this concept. Buy here, sell there, capture the spread. I do the same thing, just with performing notes on affordable manufactured housing. Here is how the gap works. I source a manufactured home in an established Arizona community. I structure a seller-financed transaction. The buyer puts down a deposit, signs a promissory note, agrees to a fixed monthly payment for 20 years, and from that single transaction, a payment stream is born. Monthly, fixed, contractual, secured by the home itself, collateralized, first lien, senior secured. Now here is where the arbitrage lives. The cost to produce that transaction is a one-time event, but the income that transaction generates is not one time. It arrives every single month, for 20 years. That is the gap. One event creates perpetual income. That is production arbitrage, and it compounds. Because once that note is performing, that capital can be recycled, redeployed into the next transaction, creating the next note, the next payment stream, the next 20 years of income, while the previous note keeps paying. Simultaneously, this is not appreciation. This is not speculation. This is not hoping the market cooperates. This is engineered recurring income, built transaction by transaction, note by note, payment by payment. Affordable housing is the ideal vehicle for this strategy because the demand never stops. 22 million Americans already living in manufactured housing. Builders not being financed to replace supply. Conventional lenders walking away from these transactions, creating a gap so wide that a private lender stepping in can set their own terms, structure their own yield, and create income streams that perform through any market cycle, because people never stop needing the roof over their head. That payment is the most resilient in the American economy, and I have built an entire platform around capturing it. Mobile mailbox money is where you learn how production arbitrage works in this space, how transactions are sourced, how notes are structured, how payment streams are created, and what they generate over time. Silvercrest Opportunity Fund is where accredited investors step into these positions, already produced, already performing, already generating the income the arbitrage was designed to create. Most people look at affordable housing and see a problem. I look at it and see the gap.